back, everybody. As you probably know, this Pakistani doctor, Shakil Afridi, who helped track down and kill bin Laden, is sitting in jail for the next several decades. President Obama has not personally said a word on his behalf, but as I'm also sure you remember, the narcissist in chief hasn't missed a single opportunity to take personal credit for the no-brainer bin Laden kill call.
I said that I'd go after bin Laden if we had a clear shot at him, and I did. So shortly after taking office, I directed Leon Panetta, the director of the CIA, to make the killing or capture of bin Laden the top priority of our war against al-Qaeda. I determined that we had enough intelligence to take action and authorized an operation to get Osama bin Laden and bring him to justice.
So, Mr. Beckel, you're a human rights kind of guy. I'm sure you think America owes him something.
Look at the
Are
face.
you disappointed that President Obama has done nothing to help this doctor who helped us kill bin Laden?
Eric, I'm feeling very fine today.
Can you not move your face?
What's wrong with your lips?
It's nothing. I'm smiling. I'm smiling. It's a very interesting read and full of interesting facts. I think that what we're going to find out here is that, in fact, first of all, we found out something new. This doctor was not convicted by the tribal courts for treason, but rather for helping Islamic fundamentalist terrorists in Pakistan. I happen to think that's a cover, and that cover will be used by the Pakistani government to overrule the tribal courts. And I would guess that within 3 or 4 weeks, that the doctor and his family will be out of there, and they'll be back. They'll be in the United States.
Kimberly,
This is
legally,
ridiculous.
can that happen that quickly?
When in Pakistan, just make up your own rules. You're like, oh, my bad, sorry, let me cross out treason and say working with militants, we get to keep him. That's not going to work. We have to say we're not going to give you any money, we're going to cut off funding, we've had it, and we need to work vigorously and valiantly to get this man's release. We owe him at least that. Look what he did. We wouldn't have bin Laden but for his participation. Why are we abandoning him? And why would anyone else want to work with us, other people in other countries or in the Middle East, if this is the treatment you get, the reward? Your whole family in danger and you being tortured.
Jane, are you surprised the White House hasn't come out with some sort of statement regarding the doctor? They're certainly taking enough victory laps on bin Laden kill.
No, but I think that because I think it's appropriate that they not comment. I think there's a lot of things here that we don't. There's obviously a lot of things that we don't know. We are far removed from the situation. The Pakistanis, somebody's lying in one of this. I don't think it's the White House. Also, there was a story today out of the Australian and a couple other places saying that the U.S. government actually had offered him asylum and he had turned it down a while ago. Again, that could also just be spin from another side. So I think there's still a lot left to find out. But in the meantime, they have used a lot of different things for politics and PR purposes in the war on terror, and I think it chips away at our national security broadly.
Hang on there, Bob. I know you want to comment. Ange, I know.
It's driving me crazy,
also,
Bob.
But can we listen to Charles Krauthammer? Yesterday we talked about this a little bit. We pointed out maybe they should pull all the funding. I also pointed out India has a lot to worry about with this. Listen to Krauthammer.
He ran around the world preening about how it was a new direction, the moral direction of the United States, how when we had lost our way with Iraq with these enhanced interrogations, and he's going around killing people where he's judge, jury, and executioner. I'm not against it. But if you take the moral argument and the preening that the Democrats did about how terrible the Bush administration was for enhanced interrogation, well, they didn't go around killing people from the air, and if necessary, and often happens, the families as well. So they kind of lost the moral high ground here.
We think.
It's a great point. I mean, you could argue at least Saddam Hussein got a trial. You know? So yes, President Obama is killing people. Again, you could agree with his methods. We're not getting the intelligence that we are. But, you know, I think that the administration has to somehow at least concede in some way that Bush was right, because they are following his way. I mean, really, when I look at the kill list, too, which we talked about yesterday here on The Five, that to me seems very extrajudicial. It seems very arbitrary that he, the president, would move by himself to have a kill list and to have his political advisor, David Axelrod, in the room when he's making these decisions. To me, it seems political. It does seem like this imperial presidency. And again, it's exactly how they criticized President Bush for sort of running roughshod over everybody else and doing everything on his own. And that's what President Obama's really doing.
Well, first of all, most of the kills, as you pointed out, are in Somalia, where we do not have boots on the ground except for the CI people, and it's very difficult to extract people out of Somalia. But what Charles also said yesterday, and believe me, I stand second to none in my admiration for him as an intellect, but he used one thing yesterday that I found appalling, irresponsible really, and that was he said you ought to go to the Pakistanis and say, India, we're going to form a relationship with India. It has taken the Clinton, Bush, and Obama administration great strides to find a trilateral agreement between two countries that have nuclear weapons, and to suggest for a second that we threaten Pakistan with India is frankly,
that's not what
Charles,
he said.
with all...
I don't think that's what he said. He said simply mention the word India to them.
It is an irresponsible statement, and I think you probably regret saying it.
But he doesn't.
Okay, but really quick, with respect to the kill list, it's not just President Obama with his feet up in the Oval Office going, who do I want to kill today? That's not what happens. It's a compilation of evidence and information from the intel agencies like the CIA, like the people in the theater, like the SEAL teams that compile a list, and then they determine the location, and then POTUS signs off. They know we're saying 10 out of 17 on the list are. He has to say yes.
You're happy they're dead, right?
Yeah, but his
look at my smile. Does it look like yours?
But the story in the New York Times, you'd think that he was.
Right.
His administration's trying to paint him as this
wartime
master
president.
killer.
Right.
I mean, look, if he was going to run on killing somebody, I've always wondered if he's going to run on killing someone. What's he going to kill in his second term? Who's he killing?
One hat tip to the Bush administration for all the intel that they gained right before they decided to
try it tomorrow at the official unveiling of the Bush portrait at the White House.
I think we should thank them every day.
Let's hold our breath. Coming up, should Attorney General Eric Holder be giving political advice to African-American pastors who are sympathetic to President Obama? Is that crossing the line that separates church and state? We're going to debate that next, and Ange is up next.
I love the spelling.
How I spell it.
You can't say we never tried.